The national economy, an economic forecast for the next few years in the United States. We will take a look at trends in key economic indicators, make predictions about the future, and ultimately make a recommendation to help you decide whether now is the time to expand your chain of health food stores into the U.S. The first economic indicator we will look at is gross domestic product. GDP is the market value of all officially selected goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time. GDP per capita is often equated with the standard of living in a country. The most direct way to calculate the GDP is to add up the output of every type of producer of goods and services. GDP has consistently trended upwards for the last 50 plus years. At the worst of the recession of 2007 to 2009, GDP numbers showed significant negative growth trends. The last 7 quarterly GDP growth rates have been positive. GDP per capita is calculated by dividing gross domestic product by the total population. There has been an upward trend in the last 2 years after a significant drop-off in 2010. The Financial Forecast Center predicts over $100 billion increase in GDP for 2013. Let's look at inflation. Inflation is calculated by comparing consumer price index changes over time and expressing it as a percent increase or decrease. Significant historical events can be noted, like the Great Depression, World War II, and the energy crisis of the 1970s. Recent inflation rates have stayed within a narrow range and have remained relatively low. Inflation predictions from some sources indicate inflation rates will continue to be low. When a person is actively searching for a job but is unsuccessful, they are considered unemployed. The unemployment percentage is the number of unemployed persons divided by the number of people in the labor force. After extremely low unemployment rates in 2006 and 2007, there was a rapid spike to 10% in 2008 and 2009 and continued high rates into 2010. Since mid-2010, the unemployment rate has slowly but steadily been trending downward and is currently about 7.9%. Despite recent downward unemployment rates, some forecasters are predicting slight increases in the unemployment rate. Aggregate demand is the total amount of goods and services demanded in the economy at a given overall price level and in a given time period. Aggregate supply is the total supply of goods and services produced in the economy at a given overall price level and in a given time period. Causes of shifts in aggregate demand. Consumption, which is affected by nominal wealth, consumer expectations and confidence, money supply, and sales and property taxes. Investment spending, which is affected by interest rates, business profit expectations, and business taxes. Government spending, as well as net export spending. Causes of shifts in aggregate supply. These include size and quality of labor, changes in inflation, increase in production costs, technology and education, permanent changes in business regulations and taxes, as well as permanent changes in international trade barriers. Here's my summary and my suggestions. GDP is predicted to increase in 2013. Inflation is expected to continue to be low. Unemployment is expected by some forecasters to increase slightly. I would encourage you to expand your health food store chain into the United States in the near future. GDP per capita is trending upward, inflation remains low, and unemployment levels remain high. People will have more money to spend, cost of resources is not expected to rise, and there will be plenty of workers willing to staff your stores. Here are some suggestions for states likely to support your business.